In the Amazing World of Gumball, our story begins in Elmore, a weird town located somewhere in the United States, where we see a young Richard Watterson, 42 years before the current events of the show, looking outside as his dad leaves for milk and never returns. Without his dad around, Richard was solely raised by his mother, Joanna Watterson, who brought him up with an extreme, overprotective parenting style designed to stop problems before they happen. This approach essentially robbed Richard of his common sense and ability to function as an independent adult, giving us the clueless Richard we know today. Not too long after, in the episode The Choices, it's revealed that Richard met Nicole Watterson when she was on her way to a karate competition. On the way, Nicole and her parents are stopped by traffic, forcing Nicole to run to the competition, going through many obstacles along the way. After finally overcoming these obstacles, she runs into Richard, who is stuck in a log. She helps him out, but ends up missing the competition.
I've got to run now.
Why?
To compete.
Why?
'Cause I have to fight.
Why?
Because I have to be the best.
Why?
So people will like me?
But lots of people already like you.
Really? Like who? It's 2 o'clock already! I'm too late!
Nicole expresses her disappointment about leaving empty-handed, but Richard reassures her by offering one of his nuts, which lifts her spirits. When she asks about her future, Richard suggests that she should start truly living it. Over time, the two grow closer and begin spending a lot of time together. As they become young adults, their parents disapprove of their relationship, causing Nicole to leave her parents' home, while at the same time, Richard is kicked out by his mother. The two spend the next few years living together in a small apartment next to a train station, making do with what they have. Eventually, Nicole and Richard are shown at the doctor's office, where they discover that she is pregnant with Gumball Watterson. Shortly after, the two get married, and although their parents aren't there, they are enough for each other. Shortly after having Gumball, Nicole gets a job as a customer service employee at a plastic factory, while Richard becomes a stay-at-home dad, which is probably for the best. As time passed and Gumball got older, the energy it took to raise him became too much. He was extremely hyperactive and constantly got into trouble, leaving Nicole and Richard with little to no time to rest. Frustrated by their son's behavior and desperate for a break, they decide to get him a pet fish. Gumball is immediately captivated by his new pet and names him Darwin.
Darwin.
What? But that spells Japoxfred. We really need to get you enrolled in school.
Although Darwin can't respond, Gumball still enjoys playing with him. However, one morning, the fish doesn't wake up, and Nicole and Richard realize he has passed away. To avoid upsetting Gumball, Richard secretly buys a replacement fish. But after multiple fish die due to a series of mishaps, Richard returns to the pet store for another one. There, Larry stops him, explaining that the last 2 fish literally jumped out of the tank after seeing him. On his way home, unsure of how to explain this to Gumball, Richard is approached by a man in a mysterious van.
Please choose from the many wondrous items in my store.
What about this?
No, that's not for sale.
And why is it on a pillow under a spotlight?
It's part of the game.
After buying it, the man warns him, "This fish is special and must be treated carefully." Gumball receives the fish and names him Darwin. But this time, something is different. Darwin shows unusual intelligence, understanding speech and even mimicking expressions. As they grow closer, Darwin suddenly does the impossible.
Wait up. This is amazing! Wait till Mom and Dad see this. This is gonna blow their minds!
Excited, Gumball tells Darwin to act silly as a surprise for his parents. But when Richard later finds Darwin motionless in his bowl, he nearly flushes him away, until Gumball stops him just in time. Later, during a family photo, Darwin suddenly jumps out and says, "Cheese!" shocking Nicole and Richard. The chaos causes an accident, and Darwin is knocked straight into the toilet. And from this moment on, things only get more interesting. The episode opens with Darwin emerging from the sewer into the sea, where he encounters various fish. He urgently asks how to return home, but the other fish inform him that a fish cannot survive on land for long. Even so, Darwin remains determined. He swims quickly and leaps out of the water, but immediately collapses on the sand because he lacks lungs. Back at home, Gumball is heartbroken over the loss of his new friend. Nicole and Richard try to comfort him, but Gumball insists that Darwin will come back because he can feel it.
In your stomach?
In his heart, Richard. Not everyone's stomach fills their whole chest.
Suddenly, Darwin develops a new heart and lungs, allowing him to survive on land. He waves goodbye to the fish and begins his journey back to Elmore. As he travels across deserts and valleys, he sings about his journey. But as he grows more exhausted, he begins to hallucinate, running joyfully before tripping over a rock and collapsing.
Okay, that was half my bad, half the rock. I don't think I can make it. I'll just lie here a while and...
Back at home, Richard and Nicole continue trying to comfort Gumball. Still believing in Darwin, Gumball says that if he were there, he would kick Darwin to keep going. At that exact moment, Darwin develops legs and feet. Testing them out, he immediately begins running all the way to Elmore. Excited to finally be back, Darwin asks random citizens where Gumball is, unintentionally alarming them. Meanwhile, the Wattersons are putting up missing posters for Darwin when a pest controller captures him and locks him in a cage with several dogs. As time passes, Gumball begins to lose hope, believing Darwin may not return, but Darwin senses this. Encouraged by the other dogs, Darwin manages to retrieve the keys, free himself and the dogs, wish them well, and continue his journey. At the same time, the Wattersons decide to get a new Darwin, unaware that Darwin is running behind their car as they leave.
No! No, replace me! I'm here! Wait!
Hold on! Bowl is like 15 times the price of the fish.
At the Elmore Mall, Darwin finally catches up, only to realize he is being replaced. Heartbroken, he slowly walks away. But just as Gumball is about to buy a new fish, he suddenly feels something. Gumball runs outside and reunites with Darwin, as Richard and Nicole watch in relief.
We came back! What? You've got legs? How? I don't know how, but I know why.
It wasn't for revenge, was it?
It's okay. I know you didn't flush me on purpose, Mr. Watterson.
Seeing Darwin's bruised feet, Gumball gives him his green shoes, and from that moment on, Darwin officially becomes part of the family. A few years after Darwin joined the family, Nicole became pregnant with her second child. We see Richard beside her, driving her to the hospital while trying to comfort her as she endures the physical and emotional stress of going into labor. In the back seat, 8-year-old Gumball and 6-year-old Darwin imagine how amazing it would be to have a baby sister. Moments later, Nicole gives birth, and on the way home, Gumball and Darwin excitedly meet their newborn sister, Anais. At first, everything seems fine, but suddenly, Anais adopts a sinister expression and somehow ejects the boys from the car, sending them flying into wet concrete. Later, back at home, Gumball and Darwin begin wondering why Anais suddenly became hostile. Trying to make sense of it, Darwin suggests that she might just be scared, and that they should show her how much they love her. The boys go upstairs and find their baby sister calmly drawing in her playpen. Anais shows them her drawing of their parents, and the boys correctly identify who is who. When they ask where they are in the picture, she points to the flowers, then clarifies that they aren't the flowers. Their skeletons are buried underneath them. Ignoring that completely, Gumball and Darwin suggest playing hide-and-seek. However, moments later they find themselves on a highway.
Hey, where are you going? That was terrifying.
Yeah, well, at least your soul was going upwards.
Meanwhile, Anais is back home, tearing up her drawings and toys when her brothers return. Frustrated, Gumball tells her to go back to where she came from.
Hey, what's that?
No one loves you. Signed, Gumball and Darwin. Ah, I would never write something like that. No one loves you. Well, yeah, that's more like it.
The boys discover she set a trap with the torn toys, vandalized playpen, and her loud crying. Before they can flee, they are caught by an angry Nicole and Richard. Later at the dinner table, the boys deny being jealous of their new sister, but Gumball even suggests letting another family adopt her. Nicole reassures them that just because they're no longer the youngest doesn't mean she and Richard love them any less. As they share a hug, Anais watches from a distance, glaring. Back in their room, Gumball and Darwin start to think maybe they're the problem, not Anais. Determined to be better big brothers, they try again, but Anais has other plans. What follows is an all-out war. After enduring everything she throws at them, Gumball finally breaks down and starts crying, giving up on trying to befriend her. Darwin begins to think there's nothing they can do, until they notice something. Anais is just a baby. That realization changes everything. Later that night, Anais is drawing when she notices an open box. Curious, she crawls inside just as Gumball quietly closes it, trapping her. He laughs, thinking she fell for it. They leave the box in the street to scare her, but a trash collector picks it up and throws it into the truck. Gumball and Darwin panic and chase the truck all the way to the dump, where the box ends up on a conveyor belt heading straight for a crusher. At the last second, thanks to Darwin, it's diverted to another path, and Gumball manages to grab it. Relieved, they hug the box and apologize to Anais. But when they open it, it's empty. Terrified, they look down into the pit, fearing the worst, when suddenly, Anais appears behind them. Still with that sinister look, she moves to push them into the inferno, but they turn around just in time. And instead of fear, they feel relief. They hug their baby sister, and for the first time, Anais hugs them back, finally showing that deep down, she really does love her brothers. 4 years after Anais joins the family, Gumball is now 12 and Darwin is 10. We are now in the present timeline of the Amazing World of Gumball. Up to this point, everything may have seemed straightforward. However, these events actually come from later seasons of the show. The first few seasons of Gumball didn't have an overarching story. They were mostly short, self-contained incidents that began and ended within the same episodes.
Kissing Penny was like being run over by a unicorn.
And kissing Masami wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
It isn't until season 3 that the show begins to introduce a deeper narrative, starting with the episode, The Void. In this episode, Gumball and Darwin discover evidence suggesting that someone has been erased from existence.
Okay, even I can tell something's missing here.
They soon realize that the missing person is Molly. After checking the yearbook and seeing an outline of someone missing in a few pictures. Together with Mr. Small, they begin investigating everything they remember about her. But strangely, all traces of her are gone. Determined to figure it out, they head to where her treehouse should be. On the way, Mr. Small explains that Elmore isn't a normal place, and that sometimes it makes mistakes. As they continue walking, they discover that Molly's treehouse is gone as well, replaced by a strange gap where it looks like the world has folded in on itself. Curious, they pry the gap open and are suddenly pulled inside. They have entered the Void. Inside the Void, they learn that throughout history, anything considered a mistake, whether it's a person, object, invention, or even a fashion trend, is removed from reality and sent there. The Void exists outside of reality itself, holding everything that has been erased, until it is completely forgotten. Moments later, inside what remains of her treehouse, they find Molly, frozen in time. When Gumball touches her, she unfreezes, completely unaware that she was ever erased. To her, it feels like no time has passed at all. As she questions what happened, Gumball and Darwin suggest it might be because she's boring.
How can I say this?
It's because you're boring.
Regardless, they know they need to leave. As they step outside, they're horrified to see that the gap back to reality is rapidly closing. They rush toward it and regroup with Mr. Small. Jumping into the van, they struggle to start it, but eventually manage to get it running. At the last possible second, they drive through the gap and escape. Back in Elmore, they celebrate Molly's return. But what they don't realize is that during their escape, Rob clung onto the back of the van and escaped the void with them. And from this moment on, his role in the story becomes more important than anything else.